Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. Whew! Monday Night Football is back, and boy, is it back. The hype, the anticipation, the electricity at MetLife Stadium before the game. Aaron Rodgers running out with a flag, American flag, 9/11. Boom, it's going to be a crazy game. Aaron Rodgers is going to lead the Jets to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. First drive, went out with an injury. I know. Now listen, I haven't been high on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I know. I've down on them. They're the Jets. I would never wish upon a bad injury to somebody ever. We don't know how bad it is, but yes, Aaron Rodgers got hit. Looked like his knee at first. Thank God it looks like it's not bad. And then went to the blue medical tent. I hate that thing, by the way. And the cart came out, and he was carted off the field to locker room. And it looks like, from what I'm seeing right now, I don't want to say what it is, but they're saying questionable to return with an ankle injury. And the latest notification I've gotten says that he went to the x-ray room, and he came out of the x-ray room with a walking boot on. So Aaron Rodgers is in a walking boot, so he's not returning. By the way, can we get rid of this questionable? Every player is questionable when they get hurt. There's no more probable. There's no more out. It's just questionable. Stop it with the questionable. So-and-so is questionable to return. Just say so-and-so is injured. It's the same thing. Come on, the questionable. Silly. Not like it. So what this does, well, obviously Zach Wilson, everyone's favorite mom lover, is in the game. And I'm not going to lie, he hasn't had to do much because Breece Hall has taken over this game from a standpoint for the Jets. Now, it is 3-3 with about 9 minutes left, or 9 and some change in the second quarter. But Zach Wilson is 4 for 6 for 39 yards since coming in for the injured Aaron Rodgers. And Breece Hall has 2 carries for 109 yards. Dalvin Cook, 4 carries, so he's out-carried him, out-touched him for 6 yards. Ugh. So maybe it wasn't just the Minnesota offensive line, but honestly. So we got to look at it like this. What this means for the Jets, what this means for Aaron Rodgers. By the way, the sideline look of Saleh's face when he was watching Aaron Rodgers limp off the field, he looked like he was in shock. Plus, it quieted the entire stadium. It was insane. So, we don't know the aspect of it, but here's what I'm going to say. They're saying he's out with an ankle. Thank you, Heavy T. He's out with an ankle injury, okay? Okay, thank God again, it's not a knee. Knee is never good. Achilles is also not good. Hopefully, it's not that. Getting closer to the ankle. Ankle injury, high ankle sprain, something like that. We saw Patrick Mahomes last year lead the Chiefs to the Super Bowl in the playoffs with a high ankle sprain. Okay? I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is Patrick Mahomes because he's obviously older. More has happened to his body. A lot there. Heavy T wants to show the face of Saleh is what I'm talking about here. When he was, that is Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Yeah, That is not the face of a man who looks happy at the moment, for sure. But again, we saw Patrick Mahomes lead the Chiefs to a Super Bowl with a high ankle sprain. And high ankle sprains are worse than lower, obviously, a low ankle sprain. So I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to start next week to play. I don't expect him to be out for the whole year. I don't know what it is. If it's an ankle, he should be able to return this season, okay? Just from what I've seen players do with ankle sprains, if it's an ankle. I don't think it's broken. He was in a walking boot. If it was broken, they would probably take more precaution there. It didn't look like it was broken on the play. It looked like it was just an ankle sprain or some sort of lower leg injury below the knee. So he was carted off. Okay. Let's not get crazy. I'm sorry, Jets fans. I'm a Chargers fan. I feel for you guys. Like, you guys are cursed, man. So are we. So, hey, welcome to the club. At least you guys have a Super Bowl. But here we are with Zach Wilson, and it's 3-3. It's still a game. It's still a game. The season is not over, Jets fans, because an ankle injury to Aaron Rodgers. You still have a great defense, great offensive talent, and great coaches. And obviously, all Zach Wilson has to do, that didn't take long. No, it didn't. The first drive, I was like, what is happening right now as I was watching that? I was like, this is crazy. And of course, as I'm getting ready for my show, I have to just axe the first 10 minutes of the show just to talk about this. But it's not over. It's a really good team still. A really good team in New York. Say, Jet's gonna jet. Love it. Let's say Aaron Rodgers misses the first 4 games of the season. Okay? And they go 2-2. I guess they'll win tonight. They're still going to be a good team. We had the Chiefs lose. We had the Chargers lose. The Bengals. The top teams in the AFC did not come to play this weekend. More on that later, but it's not over. It's not over. Do not panic, Jets fans. It's not over. And plus, remember, Zach Wilson has been under the wing of Aaron Rodgers this whole time. Maybe he learned a few things or two. Hopefully. We will see tonight. As we say that, the Bills are driving right now. They are, 2nd and 7 from the 8. So about 6 minutes left to go to halftime. So that's how I feel about the Aaron Rodgers injury. It sucks. I'm not going to lie. Again, I was one that did not like it. I felt I was being force-fed the Jets and Aaron Rodgers all offseason. I hated it. I don't like to be force-fed teams for no reason. The hype and everything. It sucks. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's NFL. J.K. Dobbins drafters. How you feeling? Like, it's the same thing. Deontay Johnson. It's part of that, but more on injuries later. But that's how we feel here at Monday Night Rants on the Aaron Rodgers situation. But we still have a game. We're still playing a game. And we will make sure, guess you can say Jets crash. This guy is going crazy on the chat. I love it. Welcome to the show, by the way, Derpy Entertainment. Always more than welcome every Monday night, 9 Eastern, for your enjoyment, especially during football season. We have a lot of fun here on Monday Night Rants. Wade Tavares also in the chat as well. Say, what is going on, renters? Welcome to the show. And everybody else watching everywhere and on Bettercast, by the way. Let me talk to you about Bettercast. This is Bettercast, okay? I'm playing Bettercast right now. There it is. Boom, look at that. Bills, Jets, Bettercast, live questions in your face. I am currently not doing well. I like the trivia part of this better because my mind is a lot bigger than my trying to guess. But I'm actually in 5th place right now. Out of there's a bunch of people here in the chat. It's a lot of fun. You can see, look at that chat going crazy on Bettercast. You could join the fun too right now on Bettercast. Look at all those fun people. And you could do this while watching me and the game. Welcome to the new world where everybody watches 8 screens at once. Yesterday, I had like 5 screens going. I had all the football games on. I had NASCAR. I had baseball. This is the new world. Watch me. Watch the game. We're about to be on halftime. By the way, touchdown Bills. It was an Allen pass to Stephon Diggs for all you fantasy people out there. Diggs is on the board. I wonder how Sauce Gardner feels about that. But it's free to play, free to download the app. Download it right now. Go to Bettercast, .app and get it right now and play along with me. I'm playing along as I'm doing the show. I know Heavy T is, but by the way, shout out to Heavy T, Tyler Soto, who's behind the screen tonight. You'll see more from him later. He's going to give a eulogy because somebody has officially been cut from the Guillotine League, pretty much. And that person, I'm not going to give it away. It's going to be fun. So we will talk about that later as well, and he'll be joining the show. We'll be talking about all the weekend of craziness that was, plus my case of the Mondays, and a lot more. So Bettercast app right now. Play along, answering questions. When questions come up, and you got pregame questions as well, you can answer before the game starts to get ahead of the competition before the game even starts, people. You can literally answer questions to get a game ahead. Look at that. There's Coop right there. Gotta love my boy Coop and everyone going on at the Bettercast app. What do you mean, new world? I could have told the Jets would crash and burn week 1 as soon as they signed Rodgers, considering we saw this experiment before already. This is not the Brett Favre experiment over again. I've said this on the show, and I got a lot of for it. But this is a better team than that team was when Brett Favre took over as the Jets quarterback, and I will back that 100%. This team has a great defense. They're way better coached and have been a lot better offensive talent than what Brett Favre was given when he took over for the New York Jets. So I will stand by that. All right. With that being said, let's actually get into some show notes. Now, this is crazy. By the way, I hate to go from promo to promo. It's not a promo, though. This is it. Every Monday night, we talked about it before, Rival Fantasy. It's rivalfantasy.com. Go to joinrival.com/alarm. Get your deposit bonus up to $200 plus your first match free to play bingo cards with me. And I put in some bingo cards for tonight. I did 2. Here's why. I did 1 Josh Allen-oriented bingo card and 1 Aaron Rodgers-oriented bingo card because you only choose 1 quarterback. Smart, right? Well, the Aaron Rodgers one's pretty much shot. But I still have the Josh Allen one. He just scored the touchdown to Diggs. So I got bingo cards going right now at rivalfantasy.com. And it looks like, I'm going to check it real quick. I haven't checked. We're still in the first half. So let's get crazy here. But I got a couple here lighting up. I still need a few more to hit. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the game, and we'll check back. So if you, that better boss is Brett Favre would come back into this game. I don't know, man. That's funny. And then immediately thrown 2 interceptions. But rivalfantasy.com, play bingo with me every Monday night, and it's for charity. When I win, charity wins. Every time I hit bingo, the money I win from bingo goes straight to the Alzheimer's Foundation, which I do every year. So every time I win bingo, the money I win, I'm donating straight to the Alzheimer's charity. And you can do the same thing. It's $1 a card. It's joinrival.com. Play fantasy bingo. 2 of the things I love more than anything is bingo and fantasy sports. So why not join the fun? And right now, I'm looking good in my Josh Allen card. Let's just put it that way. So I'm excited about that. So, okay. I did bet some money on this game. I'm not going to lie. I took the under, which looks really good right now. I took the under. I really like the under at 44. 44.5. I was like, I know everybody, the hype and everything, and 2 could be explosive offenses, but I thought it would be kind of more of a back and forth game of coaching, and I took the under. Right now it's looking really good. And by the way, the under was the better bet because it was minus 105 when I took it compared to the 110 of going the over. But I also took Buffalo minus 2.5, and that was before the Rodgers injury because, again, I'm really high on this Buffalo team, and it's nothing to do with Rodgers' injury or the Jets. I feel this Buffalo team could actually go to the Super Bowl. That is why I took them last week during the preview show. I took them to the Super Bowl, so I ended up winning this game. I thought 2.5. If it would get to like 3 or 4, I would have probably gone the Jets way. I think it's going to stay close the whole time, even with Zach Wilson. I'm telling you, he has the tools around him to make smart plays to still win this game with what he has. So I'm going with that. So where we stand right now, 10-3, we'll do live look-ins throughout the show and let you know where we are on those regards. All right, let's drop in to the rant lines. Yes, every Monday night, if you're new this week, because football season is here, we did it last year. We do rant lines. We do rants on the street with Thomas Stevens. And returning, as always, everyone's favorite segment on Monday Night Rants towards the end of the show, Case of the Mondays, which is a classic here on the Better Sports Network. By the way, if you haven't, always go to the Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms and make sure you are subscribing. YouTube at Better Network and TikTok and everywhere. All the favorite social media. Apparently there's an interception that I haven't seen yet, so I'm kind of waiting to see if that actually happens right now, but we'll go. Let's go Wilson, and it was. And a bad one. Wow. Okay. Take the words right out of my mouth there for that. All right, so we'll jump right into the rant lines here. Okay. Heavy T, are you ready to show some stuff here for the rant lines, or should I skip it around a little bit? Because I got a lot to talk about here before we get Thomas Stevens on in about 14 minutes. I think he's ready to go here. So, all right, let's go. A few things that happened today. Obviously, we'll talk about a recap of yesterday quickly. I'm not going to go into it ad nauseum because it's Monday night and you've already heard everything that's happened yesterday throughout the day and all your favorite talk shows in the morning, obviously on the Better Sports Network all day, talking about what happened yesterday. So I'm going to be quick about all that. Just quick little tidbits about what I thought and more going forward. So here's what we got. Today, the Chiefs, after the loss to Detroit last Thursday, finally got a deal done for Chris Jones. That's right. Thank goodness. The first cog of that wheel. Now, I'm not one of this believers that feel like what the mass media was saying was it was an asterisk, which is the stupidest thing you could ever say. I think it was Mike Tirico, an asterisk that Detroit won because they were without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. No, they were outplayed. And Chris Jones can't play offense either. And the offensive line for Kansas City last week did not look good, man. They did not. It was too many people in the face of Mahomes. And yes, Mahomes can be a magician. We know. But without Kelce, yeah, but still, he has talented receivers around him. Sky Moore is a talented receiver. Kadarius Toney, well, if he could catch the ball, is a talented receiver. He just didn't have it that night. And the offensive line, really, what I saw with my eyes was not good. And that was the reason they lost the game. Not because Chris Jones wasn't there. Not because Travis Kelce was there. Because their offensive line was not giving, yes, Patrick Mahomes enough time to make plays. Okay? But Chris Jones is good for that defense, so they're going to need it. They're going to need it. I'm not overreacting. Oh, is the Chiefs dynasty over? I saw that too. Shut up, people. The Chiefs dynasty is not over. First of all, it's not really that much of a dynasty. Let's not get crazy here. But second of all, come on. It's Mahomes, it's Chief, it's Andy Reid. It's week 1. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Now, Chris Jones, now it's the same $19.5 million contract he was also going to get no matter what. But at the same time, they just offered him more incentives to get sacks and stuff to give him more money, which he'll get. So it's a deal. He's back. Kudos. The Chiefs will have him back next week. Hopefully Kelce too. They should be back to normal. They should be fine. I'm more pissed off that the Chiefs lose week 1 and the Chargers blow it to actually have an upper hand. You know who's in first place in the AFC West right now? I hate to say this. The Raiders. The Raiders are 1-0, baby, and in first place in the AFC West. And the Broncos, which, by the way, they're the same Broncos. Sean Payton, what are you doing? This ain't the Super Bowl 10 years ago. Trying to go for an onside kick to start the game. Get out of here. Look bad. Raiders aren't a great team. Yet they're in first place in the AFC West. More on that in a little bit. So Chris Jones, there you go. T. Higgins, actually, another guy. My goodness, T. Higgins. What a rough, and I mean rough, game for the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll talk about that a little bit going on in the future. But man, T. Higgins, no catches, no yards, no nothing. He has some targets. That's about it for T. Higgins. He's saying he ain't coming back next year. He's gone. Well, okay, I'm not surprised. Obviously, Jamar Chase is Burrow's boy, right? They went to college together. That's it. So T. Higgins is going to be on the market. He's not happy with what they're giving him. Do they need to give it to him? Probably not. They don't need to spend the money. They could bring up other receivers to complement Jamar Chase. They have Tyler Boyd still. So the whole T. Higgins contract thing, it is what it is. T. Higgins will be on another team next year. I could have told you that months ago, last year, that this would be his last year in Cincinnati. He wants to be a number one guy. He will never be a number one guy in Cincinnati when Jamar Chase is there. So I don't know how real this is, but from the chat right now, someone says that the x-rays of Aaron Rodgers were negative. So that's good. Was an x-ray show, though? Broken bones, broken anything? Could it still be an ankle sprain? Could it still be... Obviously, something's hurting, but x-rays were negative, so it's no break, at least. So that's good. So again, Jets fans, come on. You're okay. That's not the end of the world. All right, Heavy T, do you want to talk about this DraftKings thing that irritated both me and you today? This was something that DraftKings did, and I love DraftKings. Actually, they're my preferred DFS place I play. I just love the way that they do their things. I love having the utility. The whole catcher first base thing on FanDuel kind of threw me off a little bit. So DraftKings is where I play most of my DFS. And they hate me because I know how to win NASCAR DFS, which I did again over the weekend. Thank you. Matt Sells, Fantasy Alarm. Boom. There you go. Check out Grill vs. Grill. Me and Matt Sells doing NASCAR bets each week. By the way, my bet this week, Tyler Reddick, top 5. He won the race. Boop. Better Boss says Higgins going to Carolina. It's a good spot for him. They do need a receiver, and bad. But DraftKings today, it's 9/11. Thoughts and everything that happened, 22 years ago now? That's crazy. I was a freshman in high school when that happened. I just remember all day in every class watching the TV at nauseum about what has happened, what's going on. Are we under attack? It was crazy. It was one of the craziest days of my life. I still remember to this day. My mom waking me up and say we're under attack. It was insane. But DraftKings decided to do this. I don't know why. They pulled, we'll do a never forget parlay, bet on these 3 teams to win tonight. The Mets, the Yankees, and the Jets. Come on now. Never forget parlay. Ugh, get out of here. What are you doing? 343 people placed this bet. Now, I guarantee you, if it wasn't a never forget bet, they would have had 8 times that. But come on. There's no reason to be bringing that into marketing play or anything. That's a stupid move on DraftKings' part. And I am against it completely. Completely. So I didn't bet it. Hopefully you didn't too. Let's do a quick little NFL recap here. I know I'm running really out of time. And more on the NFL later because we're going to be talking with Heavy T. Actually, Heavy T, let's save the recap for the end of the show. And we'll do the recap with you. And then we'll do my case of the Mondays real quick during the recap and move on. So we'll talk about some injuries here that happened yesterday in the NFL. And by the way, the best injury report you can get every week, and I mean every week, is on Fantasy Alarm. They do such a good job with everything up to date for all your fantasy needs. Fantasy Alarm, the injury report, that's what I'm pulling from right now to kind of go over with you guys. Check it out on fantasyalarm.com. It's Ray Kuhn over there doing a great job as well. So obviously the biggest injury that happened yesterday was J.K. Dobbins. My goodness, it's an Achilles out for the year. Whew. J.K. Dobbins, talk about talent that just can't play more than 4 games a season. I think this could be his time done in Baltimore. I mean, how many, 4, 5 straight years of him not even playing 10 games? It's not good. Talented back. But man, is he injury prone. And I hate that word injury prone, but he is injury prone. He's injury prone. Sucks. I only dropped him in one league. I could replace him, obviously, off of waivers. We'll figure it out. Now, Justice Hill came in. He did his thing. 2 touchdowns for Justice Hill, the kind of unforgotten running back there. He was a huge sleeper like 3 years ago. Remember, they still have Gus Edwards, though, and he had 8 carries for 32 yards after as well. So a timeshare between the two. But remember, and remember, you have Leonard Fournette out there. You have Kareem Hunt out there, and you have Jonathan Taylor, who wants to get the heck out of Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those 3 situations happened. I would say Leonard Fournette 1, Kareem Hunt 2, and the trade, obviously, 3. But Leonard Fournette could, if he's still there for waivers, and he hasn't signed yet, but it's maybe worth just taking a little flyer on him before everyone else does and holding on to him, because he, I think, would be the next domino to fall for running back help for any team. So there you go. Sucks for J.K. Dobbins, though, man. That poor guy. Every year. Another big injury to a running back, and we're talking craziness. Is Aaron Jones was dominating the Bears. I know Heavy T hates that. Aaron Jones was dominating the Bears. I love him. I have him in a ton of fantasy leagues. He was one of my favorite to get in like the 4th, 5th round. And he's been nothing but great every year. Everyone kind of forgot about him, right? By the way, Jordan Love to the moon, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Packers. More on that later. I can't wait to argue about that with Heavy T. It's going to be so much fun. Now, he did injure his hamstring when he scored that long touchdown, which was a catch, by the way. The extra reception just boom. Yeah, baby. But he's hurt. Obviously, they have A.J. Dillon. That's the man you want. Obviously, he's probably already taken there in Green Bay. But Jones, I don't think it's that bad. He may miss 1 week. I don't think he'll miss more than that. He'll be back. But he looks like he's going to be a solid contributor this whole year with Aaron Jones. Let's go into some receiver. The biggest one, man, is obviously Deontay Johnson. We all saw the hamstring. He had 6 targets. He caught 3 of them, 48 yards. Obviously, the entire Pittsburgh Steelers offense was out of sorts with the defense of the 49ers. They're good. We know it. Deontay Johnson, though, the hamstring looked really bad. He was on the ground for a while. Aaron Jones was able to walk off, kind of, maybe could have come back. The Deontay Johnson, he was on the ground, face down, holding his hamstring. I think he misses 3 weeks, at least. 3 weeks at least for Deontay Johnson. Maybe even an IR stint, which would be 4 weeks. So, not good. Not good in general for Pittsburgh yesterday, and not good for you fantasy owners of Deontay Johnson. But Austin would be a guy worth looking at as a replacement there in Pittsburgh. Obviously, they're not going to play the 49ers every week, people. Let's be real. They're going to be okay. The offense will be okay. So there you go. Some of the big, let's see, obviously the Pat Freiermuth too. Geez, I forgot about him. Chest injury after his 1 catch for 3 yards for a touchdown. That's Pat Freiermuth, by the way. That's his game. 1 catch, 1 touchdown. That's it. Next week could be 0 catches or 1 catch for 3 yards, no touchdown. That's why I was off of him on fantasy completely. Another one who I was kind of high on was Greg Dulcich, who kind of was having a decent first half, I guess. 2 passes for 22 yards. I thought he would be a really good, but it turned out Troutman was a better play, which is crazy. His status for week 2 is uncertain. It's a leg injury. We didn't know about that as well. Before we go to break and go to rant on the street, I do want to show you this. And I do have a little bit of a rant here, so I'll be quick with it, though, is Kadarius Toney last night, and we will talk about the Giants debacle later in the show. Kadarius Toney, during the game last night, decided to go on a bunch of ranting, if you will, and videos about how terrible the Giants were doing. So he put Instagram videos up. He put a bunch of weird, just silly things. And what I have to ask is this. Maybe instead of watching the Giants game and putting up stupid memes and stupid, oh, you guys suck, you should have never traded me. First of all, you were always hurt with them, and you're still hurt now. You're playing through it a little bit. So let's not get crazy. And second of all, you were one of the reasons your team lost the game on Thursday. You couldn't catch a cold in a room full of 1-year-olds. So let's be real, dude. Why, instead of watching the game and talking crap on the Giants, your old team, how about going outside and going to the catch machine and practice catching some footballs? Maybe be productive instead of counterproductive. I'm not a fan of Tony and his antics and his mentality. It's childish, especially when your team lost. And by the way, you're both 0-1. You're both losers. After the break, my boy Thomas Stevens rants on the street. Stay tuned, everybody. Play some better cast. Let's have some fun. Boom.
What can we expect from you out there on the track tonight?
Listen, I have a wife, 2 kids. I have, full-time jobs. I'm never nervous. I don't even know what that word means. Can you explain what nervous means? No. I'm ready to have fun. I've never done anything like this before. I got asked to be a part of this. This is fascinating. Like, it's so cool to just look around and see what goes on here. So I'm just excited to get out on the horse. And you want trash talk? Is that what you're asking me for? No trash talk. I hope everyone does well.
All right. Everyone's going to do well, but it has to be a winner. So give me your trifecta. Who's going to come in first, second, and third? Heat.
I will go Maria 1, me 2, Willie 3, Moose goes 4th.
Well, it's very simple. I won this event last year. I won my heat, and so the defending champ has to be the favorite. Now, that makes me a little nervous just because I feel like it's hard to repeat. There's a little pressure when you're the favorite. But that being said, I'm still optimistic.
So your heat, it's you,
yes.
Moose and Keith from Better Sports Network, and Willie Colon.
I think Keith might be my stiffest competition. And I asked for this because I actually recruited Keith, if you didn't know. So Keith, if you win, you're welcome.
Malusis is very good. I mean, he knows what he's doing. But I'm going to go with Maria.
Keith is waving to the crowd. He must pay attention because they're off. It's Mark Malusis going for the lead. Maria Marino on the outside. And now Keith Irizarry on the outside with speed. And they're 3 wide into the first turn. Woo! Mark Malusis is locked in for his life. 1:38-2. They're into the stretch. Sportscasters Derby 2. And still in front, Keith Irizarry. And now Mark Malusis is trying to squeeze on through.
Come on! Come on! Let's go! Come on, dig it! Yeah!
Keith Irizarry. Keith, you did it all the way, wire to wire, over Mark Malusis.
Awesome! That was so cool!
The champ is here! Keith, what was it like being out there? Adrenaline rush. You were doing the Instagram Live, so there was no panic. You looked cool, calm, collected the whole time, and you won it.
I felt really comfortable. I did. Like, I know you were joking with me before. Are you nervous? Are you whatever? What are you? David, the driver, was awesome. He's like, we're going to win this. I said, all right, let's win this. And he said, let's go. Yeah, I just felt really comfortable. I did. It was fun. We're in the lead. I got Maria Marino on the right side of me, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, she's going to beat us, right? And then out of nowhere, you see Moose coming up this way, and we feel him breathing down our neck. And I'm like,
Moose
no!
on the loose. Watch out.
Moose was definitely on the loose, and we just got Moose by a neck, a nose, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but again, all of this for a great cause, and it was absolutely awesome to do this. It was cool.
All right, Keith, congratulations. And no matter what, you could always hold this over Moose's head.
Yeah!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. That's at Better Network and all your favorite social media platforms. We are at halftime. It's currently 13-3. The Buffalo Bills over the New York Aaron Rodgers Jets. If you live under a rock or just don't have internet, or you live in a hobbit hole, or you're on a hobbit hole retreat like Aaron Rodgers was, he left after the first drive, ankle injury, x-rays negative. We'll see what that entails. Joining me now here for Rants on the Street and some UFC talk as always, because we had a big UFC match over the weekend, is my boy, Thomas Stevens. What's going on, Thomas?
Nothing much. Just chilling, watching my my sleeper quarterback go out in 4 plays. So it sucks, but
yeah. There was just a question about that on Bettercast as I'm playing right now, as you can see right there. And it was, will he return to the game? I just won points from that because I said no.
No, he will not.
Before it was there. I'm going to go ahead and answer some more questions here and do it. By the way, if you haven't played Bettercast, it's free. Bettercast app. Go to your Apple, Android. It's free. Look at that. You got Moose and Keith right there. You got chat going off the hook. People, they're talking about my show right now because they're watching my show and playing Bettercast at the same time. It's incredible. Incredible experience. I'm currently in 9th place. I do have a little over 100 points. Obviously, I can't answer every question because I'm also doing a live show. But hey, not bad though for the experience there. So next week too, by the way, we have 2 Monday night games with Bettercast. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but we're gonna figure it out.
It'll be fun, that's for sure.
All right, my friend. Let's jump into some UFC before we get to the questions here.
For sure.
Obviously, we were talking about it. We were going over some DFS lineups with each other for the UFC event over the weekend. Pretty low key up until the end, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of the people I thought would win lost. I did not have a good. This is like one of the worst weeks of MMA I've had in DFS in a while. And I thought I was being smarter than everyone else. But when you go on a winning streak like we've been doing, every once in a while you got to get humble.
Sure. Yeah.
So, obviously, the biggest winner of the night was Sean Strickland. Now, here's what I got to say about this, and I'll let you talk when I'm done.
For sure.
There's been a lot of big upsets in UFC where you're like, wow, that was one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen. Leon Edwards kicked Usman in the head, brought him to the ground in the 3rd round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Usman was winning that whole fight until that happened. Okay? Last week, O'Malley. Was that really an upset? Or not last week, but the last event.
Yeah, last main one.
Not really, a lot of people were on O'Malley. Not really an upset.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Nunes, when she lost her fight, she was winning until she lost. Silva, it was a leg kick from Weidman that took him out.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't know. That broke his leg. Was this the most dominating, and I mean dominating, underdog ever? Because he dominated. He won 4 rounds. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Strickland won 4 rounds against Adesanya.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the most dominating fight against a champion I have seen. And that's what makes my eyes the biggest upset in men's UFC history.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, thinking back to, recently, especially, that's probably the biggest upset that I could think of. I mean, he came into the fight and absolutely dominated first round, through. So I think Izzy was minus 950 going into that fight. I think I saw it at minus 900.
Crazy.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just looking at something like that, says that it possibly is the biggest upset, ever in men's UFC history. And props to him, I don't know, he didn't really speak too much in his game plan, but, he came out there and he striked better. He played better. His defense was on point. He honestly just beat Izzy at what Izzy is good at, so all props to him. But yeah, no, definitely a huge upset for sure. Yeah,
it was incredible to watch. Every round, I'm like, man, he is staying up with him, and he's sure. Yeah. Every jab, every counter, everything he had. Mm-hmm. Now, Strickland's not known for a power guy, like to knock.
Yeah, no. He even said it at the end too. At the end of the fight,
he had him for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if it goes like 10 to 15 seconds more, I mean that might end that round for sure.
I don't expect Strickland to keep his belt long. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, may go down as the best upset in championship fighting in a main UFC event of all time, which is
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I was the whole fight. I'm waiting for like the moment where Izzy just like went back to Izzy and, Strickland went down and then, to make it even in the cards or whatever. But as you just kept watching, you're like, when's it gonna happen? You know, and Strickland just kept
never
dominating
did.
the
It just
whole time.
never did. It was a really rare thing to watch, and
Mhm.
it was really cool.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Volkov, we got to talk about.
Yeah,
He did something we don't see a lot here.
Mhm.
Are we done with Tuivasa? I'm done with Tuivasa. Like one trick
I mean,
pony.
He's a great entertainer, but definitely not on the up as much. So
I don't remember last time I've seen Ezekiel choke in a main event like ever.
yeah.
it was a cool way to go. Like when it started happening, all my friends were on the couch. I was like, no, that's an Ezekiel choke. So like, what the hell is that? I was like, it's really rare.
Had to look at Google. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great DFS score though, I'll tell you that. So
yeah, and
whatever
a lot of people were actually not playing the two main fights.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I was one of them, but my Strickland card kind of got screwed a little bit from some of the earlier ones. So yes, I got points there, but I lost some of the other ones. But for the most part, what I thought would be kind of a weak UFC night turned out to be a good one.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot of
with a lot going on too. You got, you have college football. You got the Alabama Texas game on at the same time. The Oregon Texas Tech. People are getting ready for NFL the next day. So it turned out to be very, very entertaining. So.
For sure, yeah, no, I was happy with the event. You know, I thought even the Dos Santos fight, whatever his name is, that kid's gonna be something. You know, me and my friend were talking about it. Brazilians are always tough, and he came in there and for 3 rounds. I mean, you know, he didn't win, but he's to stand in there when you were supposed to be in Contender Series or whatever it is, and come into a main event and go 3 rounds with you know, a good fighter. So. He's got something, but all around though, good card by Dana White. It's like the last 3 main events have been excellent. It's been, you know, this whole year, honestly, the main events have been very entertaining.
And last year too, it's been a year and a half of great UFC events. And to be honest, before then, after the whole Conor thing, there was like a year and 2 years where it was kind of like,
yeah,
Amanda Nunes again. Oh god, here we go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yep.
And next we got Makachev, right? Yeah, so that'll be a good one. And after that, I think John. So you know, you got two big ones back to back. So they're not stopping anytime soon.
No, they're not, my friend. Okay, well, let's move on, everyone. This is Rant on the Street. If you're new to the Monday Night Rants show, every Monday night we have all the questions which you could get asked. Ask them on Instagram at Better Thomas on Instagram, and he will bring his favorite 5 to the show. I will answer 5 questions, and whichever I think is the best question, you get a free hoodie, a free Monday Night Rants hoodie on us just for asking a question and me answering. Or, well, we both answer, but yeah. So that's at Better Thomas. Get your questions for next week. It could be anything. We've had college football, college basketball, NBA a lot. It's a big NBA show, which will be next month. It's going to be crazy here when we're doing both at the same time. But for the most part, what do we got tonight? We got anything good? We got anything?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think I kind of expected this, but we're such a heavy NBA, you know, following that I always get NBA questions. But, you know, with football starting, we're all 5 NFL. I think people just the overreactions.
The first non-NBA question week in a long time.
Yeah, okay. Long time. Sure. Yeah. So number 1, we're starting with, you know, the upset of the week in my eyes. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They want to know our opinion on, you know, the game, the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. It's what we saw.
Well, what we saw was what I've been telling people. Vikings ain't good, bro.
Yeah.
They're just not. Their defense is bad. But their offense was terrible, and their running game, again, not good. And turnovers. Just mistakes. Alexander Madison is not a good running back. He's a situational running back. He's a fantasy darling because he got the opportunity and he's going to get the touches. But what does he do with those touches? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, I know everybody got a touchdown. Yeah, but look what he did otherwise. He did
for sure under 3.5 yards per carry.
Absolutely nothing. He's not a good running back in the NFL. This could be the last year you ever hear of Alexander Madison ever again. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Now, Addison had his. That was a great touchdown that he had. I like to see that. And, you know, even I mean, Jefferson had a great game.
Yeah.
That's and still
yeah.
It played out the way it did because of turnovers and the offensive line and dumb decisions. And you lost to a team where many thought would be maybe the 1 or 2 pick in the NFL next year in the draft. And I call him, by the way, here's his new name. I love this. I just call him Maker.
New nickname?
Just Maker. It's Maker. I don't like to say Baker Mayfield. It's too long. Just Maker.
Maker.
And when you say Maker, you say, oh, I know who that is. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, and like what's crazy is you can say all these things about the offense for the Vikings of what happened. Addison, the Jefferson being his true number 1 in fantasy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't say anything about what the offense for the Buccaneers did because they really didn't do that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. Yeah.
Godwin had a game. Mike Evans caught a great touchdown. Rashid White was an average running back. But for the most part, the Vikings defense lost to an average team. It cost them, and
for sure.
And turnovers cost them the game. So
yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. 100%. It's going to be a very long season.
Let's not overreact. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to win that division. They're not going to be over 500. Week 1 is a crazy, crazy week. Even in fantasy. Okay, in fantasy football, my week 1 is my learning period. I drafted my team. I know what I have. Let's see what I have now on paper. Then I can make adjustments. That's what every team in the NFL is doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Every team. If you lose week 1, it's not the end of the world. It's just, okay, now how do we adjust, right? And that's what makes good teams better than the bad teams, is how they adjust to what happened week 1 into week 2 to week 3, and then start seeing the good teams start to go above. So all you fantasy people are like, oh, I'm 0-1. Oh, no, what to do? Well, good, lose. How about you get smart and say, now I learned. I should probably not start Miles Sanders this week. I should probably start this running back. Maybe Najee Harris not going to be as good as I thought. I should start Rashid White or something. Like, this is how you make adjustments.
Yeah. This is the learning weeks.
And the NFL is the same way. So let's not get overreaction. Although I still think Minnesota is going to be a bad team. Stop it with that. So.
Yeah, no, I got. It's funny you say that. I got into a little Instagram comment section argument with some guy earlier about that. You know, he's already going off about the Buccaneers will win the division. No, they're not. There's still better teams in that division, 100%. I'll give me the Falcons. Give me the Saints still.
Hold on. He was serious?
Yeah, that's serious, dude.
Did you unfollow him immediately?
He had about 6 people backing him up too. So it was about me and 2 other people against 6 people. So I was going at it with them about that. But going back to the Vikings, it's going to be a long year. We already knew the Vikings passing attack, which was the only slight positive in the game. Slight. It wasn't even a full positive, but we know that. So like you said, Alexander Mattison doesn't do anything with the football unless he's close to the end zone. You're getting him in the end zone. That's fine. It is what it is. But the defense is atrocious. They just made Maker. They just made Maker look good. I mean, they just made Maker look like a starting.
They made Maker look mediocre. He didn't look good. He did not look good. He just looked like a capable quarterback. Let's not get crazy.
Let's just say this. They made Baker smile. I haven't seen Maker smile in a long time. And they made
21 of 34 for 173 yards and the 2 touchdowns, right? Those 2 touchdowns were off of turnovers that had the ball like with a short field. Like, let's not get crazy with him. Like, let's not. He 8 rushes for 11 yards. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, if the Vikings have a good passing attack, so I do give the Bucs defense a little bit of credit. 2 interceptions. The Buccaneers, defense has gotten older. They've lost.
I had 1 interception and the 2 big fumbles.
Yeah, no. So I mean, DFS wise, regular game wise, that's a great performance on the defensive end. So, but the Buccaneers, they're not going to win a lot of games. But the Vikings are in trouble, dude. If I know Baker didn't have the game of his life, but still, at the end of the day, put the ball in the end zone against them, drove down the field a couple times. And so the Vikings, when you play other teams in the division, which is a very tough division, when you play, I don't know what the strength of schedule is, but when you play a good offensive team, I mean, it's going to be a long day for the Minnesota Vikings. So
every time.
Yeah, prepare for a long season, 100%. On to number 2, absolute blowout last night. So this is an interesting take because both these teams killed the teams that they played. If you we're picking a defense to have, would you rather have a Cowboys defense fully healthy or a 49ers defense fully healthy?
49ers.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't think it's very hesitation.
Yeah, 49ers. One can argue the 49ers played the better team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yes, the Cowboys, their defense towards the end of last year was good. They have a lot of good players on that team, but that 49ers defense, and even
They're insane.
they lost Ryans though.
Yeah.
But they just look so damn like everything about them is like they know exactly what you're doing before you can do it, and that's the problem with Pittsburgh in that game is they weren't ready for it. It just sucked that Pittsburgh had to play the 49ers week 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
And you can say, well, it just sucks that the New York Giants had to play well, no, the Giants. At least Pittsburgh were still actually moving the ball a little bit and doing the Giants just look terrible. But
yeah, no, and I
that
think
wasn't because the defense was so good for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
It was because their offensive line was crappy. Also, weather conditions played a big role in it.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers defense just looked from start of the game to the end the best defense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, to shut out somebody is really hard to do. It won't happen every time. You're going to give up points. Yes, I know that the 49ers gave up points towards the end, and but
it's a little BS 2-minute drill, 7 points to So really, in my
I'm going to go with the 49ers every day of the week. They're the best defense. But remember, defense does win championships, but not very much anymore. It used to.
Yeah, it used to. Now you spend money on the other side of the ball. But no, I 100% agree. I mean, the Cowboys are a great defense. Adding Gilmore to the defense.
They're in the top 5. I mean, let's not get wrong. I'm not saying they're not. Yeah. I'm just saying compared to the 49ers,
that's the thing. The Niners are on a whole different level than everybody else. I mean, when you look at the Niners, they hit hard. I mean, they so many hits yesterday.
It's the speed. The speed.
Yeah, the speed. 12 guys are flying to the football every single play. It's just they're on a whole nother level. And like
12 guys, they can only start 11. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah,
that's how fast it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, I don't know. The Niners, they're scary, man. I mean, I don't watch a lot of 49ers game. I knew that defense was good, but I don't watch a lot of their games. And really watching them yesterday, I mean, there was not a moment besides that 2-minute drill, which they kind of went into cover 2, and we were able to exploit that a little bit going fast. But when you had to settle down and really pick and, choose where you're throwing the ball, running the ball, wherever it is, I mean, they're 5 steps ahead of you every single time. So
I'd like to set up my prediction of Brandon Ayuk being a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to shout out Pat. We'll speak about that later. Patrick Peterson will We have a Steelers question later. We'll touch about that.
Oh, God. Okay.
Number 3 is Deshaun. We talked about this last week, me, you, and Heavy T, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And I was not a believer on him. I'm still not too big of a belief in the team. I think week 1 is shocks everybody. But is Deshaun Watson back?
I don't think he's ever going to be back to where he was. He's back as in he won. I mean, that's something. But even 16 for 29, 30. I think I had like 150 yards passing. Now, the weather was a concern. He did throw a bad interception. Had a touchdown pass, obviously, but I think he ran for like 50, 60 yards. No, I think it was like 50 yards.
Mm-hmm. He had one play that was really nice, too, on the ground.
But if that's what they do and Chubb gets 100 yards and their defense plays the way that they can, they're going to win football games. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be back to the point where he's throwing the ball 300 to 400, 300 yards every week.
Yeah.
But if he does what he did yesterday, and plus the weather gets better, and I think he's going to be a lot better than he was. I mean, obviously low floor from last year, but yeah. I mean, I picked like when he scored that touchdown and the rushing, ding, ting, 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 because that's how many leagues I drafted him in because I believe that he would be a good fantasy quarterback. So I think he's back, but not to the point where he was before. But he's going to end up being top 10 fantasy quarterback when it's all said and done, I think, by the end of the year. But not like in the top 5, which he would have been
for sure
5 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know. I'm getting old, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, you hit it on the nail. When you say, Deshaun Watson's back, the team that Deshaun Watson was playing on in Houston is not this Cleveland Browns team. It's a very different dynamic. You know what I mean? When Deshaun Watson was in
they have a rushing game.
Exactly. They have an O-line as well. Too.
Yeah.
Like just everything. Better defense, stuff, just a better team in general around him. And so he doesn't have to throw 300, 400 yards and 100 rushing yards and, do all these crazy things to win win a football game for this team. So are the Browns back? I'm willing to say, yeah. I think the Browns are back. I think they're a good, they're solid if they, do what they do and everyone's.
It's going to be tough in that division. That's a really tough division.
For sure. But I mean, they proved, obviously it's week 1, but they look, the defense is key for me. And that, the Bengals O-line is a problem, man. They got in there.
It's been a problem for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked horrible. But the Bengals also lost to us last year, week 1, so you can never over-exaggerate. So we'll see. But the Browns definitely did look good. They shocked me. I had Bengals to win that game. So who knows?
People are already talking. I just got a text right now. Thomas, I hate to tell you this, buddy.
Yeah.
But before we go to the next question, I believe you have been officially cut from the Guillotine League.
I know. Right.
I've been trying to keep it quiet. It's in the chat. Someone said it in the chat. I'm getting text. I've been trying to keep it till the end. At the end, because you had Aaron Rodgers and Wilson tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, you lost Aaron Rodgers, and Wilson needs a hell of a game. Now, there's still hope for you there.
There's hope, but we'll see, dude. Garrett Wilson's got to go for some Tyreek Hill numbers.
Ooh, breaking news here in the chat. I don't know. By the way, I'm just going by my chat and my fans here, but apparently it's an Achilles injury for Aaron Rodgers. And if that's the case, he will miss the season.
Wow. That's crazy. Poor Jets. If I was a Jets,
who knows?
So
That's coming from, he said that's from A-Rod. I don't know if that's Alex Rodriguez or I don't know. So I'm just saying that what I see in the chat, I don't know if that's real or not. Heavy T, we'll get to the bottom of that. But yeah, that's some crazy stuff right there. If that's the case, holy moly.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
I mean,
that sets the Jets back, a whole nother year once again. That's a bummer, man, because Zach Wilson looks absolutely atrocious right now. Doesn't look like he learned anything from Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, he's just handing the ball off to Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook every time. But yeah, let's see here.
Bad interception.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's 2 for 19. You're gonna need a lot more than that. We'll go to the next questions, but I believe you'll be getting a eulogy from Heavy T later.
Yeah, I will. On to number 4. We kind of already touched on this, earlier in the question, so we won't have to spend too much time on it. But what was wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday?
I think what was wrong was, well, the hype, everything. Playing the 49ers the first week of the season does not help. Losing Deontay Johnson does not help. And I think their passing game will be fine. And Pickett's going to be good. Not great, good. The one thing that's really surprised me, but it could be the 49ers effect and how they prepped for the game, was how well they weren't able to run the ball. Which is surprising for a Pittsburgh team, over the years. I think that's the one thing that really screwed them up. They weren't able to run early, which kind of made, the 49ers start to step back a little bit because they were under control of the running game from Pittsburgh. I mean, Najee Harris had like -2 yards for like the first half.
Yeah.
Warren only had 1 carry in the first half. Like the 49ers stuffed the run, forced them to throw, forced them to make mistakes, and it cost them the game. If they could somehow go to work this week, develop that running game with the way that Pittsburgh Steelers and Tomlin knows how to do, I think they'll be okay. They need to work that running game. The running game failed them early in the game and put them in a hole they couldn't get out of against the best defense in the NFL. That was the problem.
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, when you play teams like that, whether, it's a full team with a defense and offense, whatever it is, or they're the Kansas City Chiefs that just have a great offense, or the Bills or the Bengals or whoever, you cannot get behind that much and expect to still kind of run your game plan, play your game plan. And you hit it on the nail. Was once they took the run game away from us, then they went down and scored. Then we threw the interception. They went down and scored again. Now you're a one-dimensional team against the best defense in the league. So now, we're not running the ball. You're just looking to pass the whole damn time because you want to get back in this game. And the Niners, they know that. And, obviously that's exactly why, we got blown out. But I think, Steelers fans are hilarious. They love to panic. They love to freak out.
All fans are hilarious, my friend.
Yeah, no, for sure. But, everyone's freaking out on Pickett. And, people do this in week 1 every year. But we just played, arguably the hardest team, on our schedule this whole year. The best defense in the league.
Whoa, no. You got to go through the North, my friend. The Browns.
Yeah, I mean,
Bengals,
I'm not saying that
Ravens.
We played them multiple times, but give me the 49ers over any team in this division 100%, especially with the defense. We will pick apart the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns 10 times more than we did yesterday against the 49ers, 100%. So I
mean,
I think
I'll give you the Bengals. That's fine.
the Browns and the Ravens have nowhere near the
when you
defense
play
that
the
matters.
Bengals, just rush the passer. You'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure,
Hopefully
for
they
sure.
fix
But
that.
I mean, so we do have to play tough teams. But like I said, this is the hardest thing that you will have to do, offensively to defensively wise, throwing against a defense for sure. And I'm glad we played in week 1 because it wakes you up. We were on our high horse in the preseason. We thought we look so good, 5 touchdowns and 5 drives, and it brought you back to earth. So Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin.
Whoa! You just cussed.
I did cuss, but you know what? The cusser got some good numbers yesterday when Deontay went out. So I don't know. May have to uncuss it. So
Nope.
We'll see. I may be uncussing it in some leagues.
Allen Robinson is not allowed on this show. He is not.
So yeah, I mean that's what happened, and it is what it is. But overreactions are as usual. But we'll be all right. I mean, next week's a big test. We play the Browns, Monday Night Football, and the Browns are no cakewalk.
We'll be here.
So, yeah, we'll be here. And
I expect you to be wearing your full Steelers garb,
course,
everything. I want the whole thing. I want the Steelers
we're
giant
the
foam
hat
hat.
and the jersey.
Yeah, get it all going.
I got to get one of those like poofy ones, man. Some crazy, crazy
100% Amazon that stuff. Let's go.
Number 5. This is kind of the same thing that we've been talking about this whole time with every question. But are the Chiefs in trouble?
No. And I'm just going to say this before we go because I know we're out of time for this segment. And the same with the Steelers, the same with all these teams we've been talking about. And I said early, week 1 is like in fantasy. You learn from week 1. You go into week 1, you only have so much preparation. You're playing each other. You play preseason games. Your starters aren't playing. You learn so much from week 1. It's ridiculous. Going 0-1 is not the end of the world. It's not even close to being in the world. Going 0-1 is okay. It really is. It's the teams that take what they saw in a full game in NFL with their personnel this year and how the coaches manage that and make adjustments to win games is what makes champions from crap teams, right? So, no, I'm not overreacting. Like I said earlier, Chris Jones just signed his contract. Kelsey will probably be back. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. The Steelers should be fine. They should be around that 500 mark.
For sure.
Maybe sneak into the playoffs. Like this isn't, even with this Aaron Rodgers, if it's an Achilles, they're not going to be fine. I'm sorry.
Straight up, yeah.
If it's just a high ankle sprain or something like that, they'll be fine. They can go 2-2. He'll come back. This is where good teams, good coach teams make or break their season by learning from these first 3 weeks of football. That's the way it's done. So going 0-1 is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. There's no reason to freak out. If the Chargers go 0-2, I'm not going to freak out. Now, if they're 0-6, I'm going season's over, right? But it's overreaction is crazy, and I can't wait to see the players dropped in my fantasy leagues this week.
Right.
Because I am gonna
go
pounce, baby.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Yep. All the overreactors.
That's why I have all these.
Those
are all trophies. You want to see more? There's more of them too. Look, it goes all over it. Look at that. Yeah. There you go. That's it.
All you need now is the Taj McGowan trophy.
Coming to a theater near you, baby. Taj McGowan. You will not be winning the Taj McGowan trophy.
I will not, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm sure Heavy T has his pencil right now, and he's writing your eulogy as we speak because I don't think you're going to get, 28, 30 points?
For sure not. I mean, the only way, too, would be Allen throws 6 maybe interceptions because the guy who's a couple points ahead of me has Josh Allen and Allen Lazard. So probably not, my friend. It is what it is. It is what it is.
My man.
That's why you don't draft at Disneyland, all right?
Hey, much shout out. And I want to give a shout out right now where shout outs do before we go to break.
Yes, go ahead.
Oak Fan 24.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah, shout out Tyreek Hill.
We love you, Oak Fan 24. We gave you so much slack the other week and when we did the draft. And hey, it turns out Tyreek Hill's a man. And you auto drafted that second, third overall. And there you go. You're still alive.
Yeah.
So the Guillotine League, one man each week will be cut. Lowest points. It resets every week. Can you name some of your players that may be going into the pool here for free agency this week?
I mean, obviously Jacobs, right? Like someone's got to bid on Jacobs. Garrett Wilson's got to be bid on. If you need a tight end, Kittle's right there. Purdy.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some other ones too. Later if you're later on the waiver or like whatever it is that definitely can be picked. Jackson Smith and Jigba's down there way later if you want to get that guy. for a later season performance. Who knows? But it sucks, man. It's a bummer. This is my first year doing it, and to go out week 1 kind of sucks. But it is what it is.
I feel so bad for you too. It's like
I'll be honest, but I did not expect this one. I wasn't that confident in my team, but such low scoring points for week 1. For a lot of good players. And then this Aaron Rodgers thing too. So
Aaron Rodgers killed you. It's the Aaron Rodgers. Will probably be a part of your eulogy, I would imagine, later on in the show. So make sure you stay tuned at the end of the show after we do Case of the Mondays and all that. Heavy T will give his eulogy for the Guillotine League. You're the first per person cut of the 18-person Guillotine League as we go last man standing on week 17. This is going to be a lot of fun. And hey, weight off your shoulders, buddy. You ain't got to worry about it the rest of the year.
There we go. One positive, huh? I can go
one league out the way. Don't got to focus on the other ones, and you're good to go.
Yep.
All right, brother. I got to give a hoodie out. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay question.
I like that. I think you put the most thought for sure.
Maker. But by the way, whoever has to ask that question, I'm going to send him a hoodie. It's going to Monday Night Rants on the back. It's going to say
Maker.
I am because I can. All right, everyone. That's at Better Thomas. Check him out.
Yes,
Instagram. Sir. Get your questions in for next week. We have a lot of fun. It is 13-6 though, low scoring game. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. So still one possession game here. So anything can happen. It's going to be pretty crazy.
A lot of field goals.
Well, we'll catch you next week, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be one less fantasy league to worry about. I love you, brother. I'm sorry, man.
Love you too.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right, later, man.
Right. Oh, man, that sucks. Thomas. Aaron Rodgers' injury knocked him out of the Guillotine League week 1. That is crazy. Wow. Like I said, 13-6. The drive is the Buffalo Bills just over midfield right now. We're going to go to break. We come back from break. I'm going to talk about college football. What a great weekend we had. And we're talking about the Pac-12 dominating. Absolutely dominating. Dominating, surprisingly, the last year of existence. AP poll, what I like, what I don't like. And then, of course, at the end, Case of the Mondays, some NFL reactions from me and Heavy T. And then, of course, the eulogy for our boy Tom Stevens at the end for dropping out of the Guillotine League. After the break, college football and checking in on an interception from Josh Allen. What? We'll see you soon, my fellow ranters.
Like Devon Levi started off in the friend zone and now like he could possibly be wife material. So it is exceptionally hard to trust a rookie goalie in the NHL. The kid is what? He's 21. Like, okay. And he is going to the Buffalo Sabres. But we've all agreed that the Buffalo Sabres are at least a somewhat better hockey team on paper. Again, it's hard to trust a rookie goalie. We've seen future Hall of Fame goalies like, Fleury in his first year struggle, right? Carey Price in his first year struggle. It is tough for goalies to come in and have success. That being said, nobody outside of maybe a Buffalo sports fan can tell me who the 2 goalies on their roster are, because I didn't know until this morning, until I was reminded that it was Eric Comrie and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And I was like, okay, well, he has the crease to himself. So all he can do is lose it. That's all he can do. Buffalo is going to be a fun team to watch, which means maybe Devon Levi ends up in what I call the Martin Jones syndrome, which is a goals against average is pretty up there. Save percentage is not very good, but he's going to finish with 35 wins because he's just going to play a lot. And it's going to be that back and forth hockey. The Atlantic Division is not very good, right? There are some teams that are going to regress. So there's opportunities here for Buffalo to do well. And I think his over-under on wins is set at 24.5. So again, there's a lot of things that I may not trust about him, but as a 13th goalie off the board, and I think that is a reach at 13. I think a lot of people have him farther back than that. So he may be 13 on NHL.com's list, but you may end up and show up in your Yahoo or your ESPN draft and they haven't ranked probably outside of the top 20. So I would have no issue as a second goalie going with Levi, because like, who's taking his spot? Nobody. And volume at one point, if you're in a league that doesn't penalize you for losses, if you're in a league that rewards saves and save bonuses like, for daily, DraftKings does, he has all that working for him. So if it doesn't work out, all right, fine. Then you can go and pick up whoever is there. but it is his net to lose. I understand the risk. I will definitely take, because that's how you win championships, right? You got to take risks to win them. If you're safe, you're going to finish, eliminated in the first round and you had a good time. Or you can try to win the championship on draft day.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. That's interception numero 2 for Josh Allen. And Dalvin Cook just caught a pass right now from Zach Wilson to go forth and conquer. That is right. The Jets are still 1 touchdown away from tying the game. It ain't over. Like I said, no need to panic. Good teams find a way to win games. There you go. Josh Allen not looking good. Another top quarterback not looking good. Now, Mahomes put up points. Lost. Herbert put up points. Loss. Lamar Jackson was trash. Not good. Burrow. Don't get me started on Burrow. More on that later on the Case of the Mondays. And now Allen not having a good game as well. So why don't draft quarterbacks so early, my friends? Just saying. All right, AP poll. I love myself some college football. This show loves college football. I like betting on college football. Another plus week for your boy. Yeah. And Heavy T was all over it too. Huge on Texas. Texas, Alabama. I am not big on Alabama. Preseason, I said Alabama is overranked. This is going to be their down year. To rebuild to where they have another dynasty of 10 years. Trust me. This team is not ready to win a championship. Showed. And I don't even think Texas is that great. Not a top 4. They are now because they beat Alabama, who's a top 4. But really, Texas is a good team. Yeah, great quarterback, yours, and obviously they got the Manning kid coming too. But for the most part, it was a good game, and Alabama took the lead for a while there in the second quarter, and then Texas just ran away with it in the second half. And by the way, it was in Tuscaloosa. So there's that too. Now, again, I don't think Texas can win a national championship, but I don't think Alabama was anywhere close to winning a national championship. But this was an upset. I circled and said Texas is going to win this game. I took Texas money line. Boom. Now, again, I don't think any one of these teams is going to be in the Final Four when it's all said and done. But Alabama, and I'm going to say this on air right now, by the end of the year, will not be a top 15 team. Maybe not even a top 20 team. Dare to say they're not even ranked? SEC, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Georgia. And SEC kind of losing the ranks here to, I hate to say it, the Pac-12. The Pac-12. We talked about it last week. We have to talk about it again. Colorado, Deion Sanders. Yes. I'm tired of talking about it. I don't need to. Okay. What they're doing is incredible. And Shadir Sanders made some throws and some plays that are Heisman worthy. I said it. Can he win the Heisman? Yes. But the road ahead for Colorado is hard. Very hard. And you know why it's hard? Because in the new AP poll that dropped yesterday, the Pac-12 has 8 teams in the top 25. 8. 8 of the Pac-12, 12 teams, are in the top 25. Colorado, in order for everything to shape and happen And they have to literally run through the gauntlet of the best conference in college football. The next 3 games for Colorado. Colorado State. Okay, they should win. They should win. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't or it was closer than people think. Then you got to go play Oregon in Eugene. Oregon had an incredible win over Texas Tech. By the way, I took Oregon in the points. Didn't look so good until a pick 6 with 54 seconds left covered for Oregon. Woo! That's betting for you, baby. Let's go. Oregon team's a good team. They have to get through that. Let's say they beat Oregon. Okay, wow. They're 4-0. Congratulations. You have Caleb Williams and USC next. Utah, Washington, Oregon State, Washington State. 8 teams of the Pac-12 in the top 25. Crazy. The last year of the Pac-12, the true Pac-12, I still call it the Pac-10. It took me like years to call it the Pac-12, and I'm finally calling it the Pac-12, and now they're no more. Are having the best, literally the best year as a conference they may have ever had. And they're disbanding. It's absolutely crazy. All right, so let's look into the poll here real quick. I'll just run through it. Obviously, Georgia stays the same, 2-0. Beat Ball State 45-3. No surprise there. Michigan, big win over UNLV. Moving on. Florida State against Southern Mississippi. Obviously, number 3 after that big win against LSU week 1. Still there. This is the big jump. +7 for Texas after the win of Alabama. Again, I don't think this is how it holds. I like Florida State a lot this year. I've been high on Florida State. I picked them to beat LSU. I like this Florida State team. I think they hold. Here's the problem. We have 8 teams of the Pac-12 that are in the top 25, and none of them are in the top 4 to make the college football playoffs. USC is sitting at 5. I think USC is a better team than Texas. I think USC is a better team than Florida State. And I'm an Oregon fan, and I hate that. Absolutely, and I mean hate it. So when you move on from that, you get Ohio State, who I'm low on this year. They moved down a spot to 6. Penn State keeping their 7. Beat Delaware. Okay, we don't know. Ohio State, Youngstown State. Remember, Ohio State struggled against Indiana last week to win. They struggled. They should have won by a lot more. Beat Youngstown State 35-7. Not as what you would expect there. This Ohio State team, I think, is going to be a big turnaround in college football this year when it comes to the top 4. You're not going to see the Ohio States, the Alabamas. You're going to see a Pac-12 school, guaranteed. It's the best conference in football. You're going to see an SEC school. It's not going to be Alabama. It's going to probably be Georgia, but you won't see 2. Maybe Tennessee sneaks in. I don't know. For the Big Ten, it could be Penn State. See Penn State there over Michigan. I'm still not even that high on Michigan. It's crazy. Washington at 8. Obviously, they beat Tulsa. Congratulations. Notre Dame, 3-0. Look good against North Carolina State. Alabama drops down to 10. Alabama will continue to drop down. Tennessee dropped 2 because they beat Austin Peay 30-13. I like the Tennessee team. They're 2-0. I think they're going to be a good team. Utah, wow. Almost lost to Baylor. Who Baylor got embarrassed by an FCS school, last week. Should have lost that game. That was pass interference, by the way, at the end of the game. And Baylor should have had 1st and goal to win the game. That was BS. Utah squeaked away with that one, kept their 12th ranking. Oregon keeps their 13th. Makes sense. LSU at 14. The only 1-1, well, Alabama and LSU 1-1 in the top 15. LSU, I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. Kansas State 2-0, keeping their spot. Oregon State 2-0. Now, Oregon State, obviously, they beat Boise State week 1. Impressive. But Boise State's 0-2 now and does not look like a good team. Then come back to haunt them because they're going to also have to go through the gauntlet here of the Pac-12. So I think their 16th rank is still a little high for me. Ole Miss at 17, good win against a ranked Tulane team at the time, no longer anymore. 37-20. I like this Lane Kiffin Ole Miss team. 17's a little overranked for me. I think they could be a SEC dark horse, but obviously Georgia is the cream of the crop. Colorado moves up 4 more to 18. So here we are. Oklahoma, 19. North Carolina lost 3 spots after a big win against South Carolina. Appalachian State, that game was insane. Went to overtime. Nobody wants to play Appalachian State every year, especially North Carolina. They just continue to find a way to claw into it and find a way to barely lose at the end against these top teams. North Carolina lost 3 spots because of it. The 20. This Duke team that beat Clemson last week on Monday Night Rants moves to 21. Beat Lafayette. I told you I like this Duke team. I like the quarterback. I think this Duke team is going to surprise us. I mean, they already surprised Clemson, but there you go. I like this Duke team there. Miami, a big win against Texas A&M. Huge win against Texas A&M, 48-33. This is a Miami team under Cristobal who left Oregon to go to Miami for whatever reason, because his alma mater. Okay, well, we saw what last time that happened when the Oregon coach left for Florida State and took him to turmoil, and here we are now. Miami, 22. Don't think it lasts. Congratulations, you're here, but don't think it lasts. You had a good win against Texas A&M, who I thought was overrated anyways. I said that on the show before, and it will show because they got to play. Florida State still, Duke. There's a lot of good teams still to play. And here's where it gets crazy. Washington State moves into the top 25 after a 31-22 win over Wisconsin, another Big Ten school. These Big Ten schools where the Pac-12s are going into, and these Big 12 schools, the Pac-12s are going, they're losing to Pac-12 teams right now. The first 2 weeks. It is insane. It's almost like they're going, uh-oh, what do we do? Why did we bring these teams in? I don't know. But here we are. UCLA beats San Diego State. I think a very overrated San Diego State team, by the way. 35-10. I don't think that UCLA deserved to get into the top 25, but I think because the landscape of the Pac-12, the way it is and how good they've been, it's why the voters put them in. But however, UCLA has, if not the toughest test, even over Washington State, of all the Pac-12 schools still in the top 25 to actually make a run to do anything. So I think this may be the last you see of UCLA in the top 25. That was the one surprise me. Washington State I see because they ended the year last year really well. Remember last year, they actually made it to the championship. But UCLA, I just don't. I'm sorry, not championship. They against Washington and almost beat Washington, who Washington went to the championship. So sorry. It was a game before in the Apple Cup. But UCLA, I just don't see a path for them to stay in this top 25. And Iowa, okay. Does anybody want to watch Iowa games ever? No. They're literally the boringest team in college football. Every game is like 13-10. Either they have 13 or the other team has 10. Yes, they have a good defense, and they've had a good defense for years and years and years. And there was one year where they made the Big Ten championship because of their defense, and congratulations. But that's like 1 out of every 13. Can you get some offense on that team? Ever? At least Georgia Tech has a quarterback that can throw the ball now. Like, do something, Iowa. Stop being this, we're big corn-fed defensive and we don't care about our... Do something! You're boring. I don't want to watch you. And when these Pac-12 teams come over to your conference next year, they're going to run through you. They're going to spread you out. Ugh. So sick of Iowa. Iowa. They're always the talk about, but never do anything. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I agree with most of it. I think the Pac-12 got the benefit of the doubt, I guess. But for the most part, the top teams are there. It's going to be anyone's game going forward. The Alabamas, the Ohio States, they're not going to be the same they were before. Georgia should be safe. Should be. But Tennessee and Ole Miss, I'm telling you, are teams that could beat. Even Georgia had a lot of players lost last year, and Georgia really, yes, they're still number one but they haven't played anyone yet, so we don't know. I want to see them play Tennessee, Ole Miss, Alabama, like play these teams to see where they're really at. So we don't really know to judge the number one team in the country yet because they haven't played anyone to judge them by. So I'm really, and I mean 100% excited for this college football season. I think this is going to be one of the most, even last year, TCU making it to the championship was exciting. I think we're going to have another exciting matchup in the championship this year of teams you would not expect. And that's what makes it so much fun. What makes it more fun is the fact the Pac-12 is the most dominating conference right now, and they're going to be no longer. That is absolutely 100% and 10% and all the percents in between insane. So next week, we start to get conference matchups in the SEC, conference matchups in the Pac-12. Things will get interesting. Again, the hot topic will be Colorado State. They've already moved that game to not prime time, but whatever, worldwide on Fox. Like, really, they're going to show every Colorado game on national television until they lose, which could be prime time in Eugene against Oregon, week 4, because Oregon has Hawaii this week at home. Blowout. Colorado State. Rivalry game, yes. So they win it. ESPN Game Day will be in Eugene. Week 4, Colorado, Oregon. It was going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy huge game of 2 Heisman Trophy candidates going head-to-head. 2, yes. Bo Nix and Shadir Sanders. It's going to be insane. All right, we're going to take our last break of the night, because when we come back, Heavy T is going to join me, and we are going to talk NFL recapping what happened yesterday. We're going to go through some scores, some box scores, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. I'm going to drop back, finally, case of the Mondays for the teams, players, personnel, whoever, coaches, who I think are really feeling depressed today. And we're going to check in on this game in the fourth quarter, 13-6, and then a eulogy for, we have to say it, a eulogy for the first person out of the Monday Night Rants Guillotine League, our boy Thomas Stevens at the end, followed by a special shout out to a special friend, and let you on your merry night. After the break, Heavy T joins me. We talking all NFL the rest of the way. Let's go, baby.
Oh boy, we got a big one. We got a big card here. We got.
Baby, let's go.
Ooh. Do you guys want to? The
19.
big card super rookie is, because
I'm going to guess
exciting.
somebody from the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't recall who were rookies in those particular years. So I'm going to guess Michael Irvin.
Adam?
Jared kind of convinced me to go Troy Aikman there.
I'm going to read the description. In this player's NFL debut, September 10th, 1989, he produced an electrifying 68-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Sanders.
He became the first athlete in the 20th century to hit a home run, September 5th, 1989, for the Yankees at Seattle, and score a touchdown in the same week.
That needs a sleeve. That one needs a sleeve.
Top
100%.
super rookie, neon, prime time, Deion Sanders.
I wasn't that far off. He played for the Cowboys.
I was going to say Deion, and then when you said the early 90s Cowboys, I'm like, Aikman would be a good guess. So I go with your gut is the lesson there.
And there it is, the white and red Falcon jerseys that you said Deion came in with before they changed to black.
That was because the starting lineup for Deion his rookie year has got the red helmet with the white jersey.
Now look at that mean, are you kidding me with that hair?
I mean, you got to have a headband with those curls. You got to.
That is sick. And this is a favorite card. Do we have any value on this card? We have to, right?
Let's see.
Give me a value here.
Let's see here on eBay. PSA 10 gem mint Deion Sanders, $149.99. And then a 9.5 is $6. So that guy might be a little bit. Yeah. Then there's a much more reasonably listed one at $31 for a PSA 10. So it's got some value to it. Yeah, you might want to protect that one.
It's in excellent condition. I guess we have to worry about, is it centered?
Yes, that would be the next thing.
All right, well, we'll go through the process there. Maybe I'll just frame that one as a great moment in this show's history.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants. Sorry, I was just getting my questions in on the better cast right now for the Bills versus Jets. Currently, it's still 13-6. Josh Allen does have the ball back here, about 35, and I'm just getting my questions in on if Randall Cobb will take a snap at quarterback for the Jets. That was a question. But it's plus weighted too, right? So some of the questions where, like, if you're behind, I can take a chance on because it's like, okay, this is plus 100 points if he does take a snap or plus 10 if he doesn't. So when you're behind, you can take chances to help you out your game. And by the way, the chat's still cracking. Look at that. Said, oh, Monday Night Rants is great right there. Look at all that. That's fantastic. This is the Better Cast app, Better Sports Network. Come on now. Go to your Apple store. Go to your Android store. Get this app. It's free to play. You win points. You can win collectibles, Fanatics gift cards, a whole bunch of stuff here on Better Cast, Better Sports Network, doing great things. I've dropped to 16th place now, so there's still hope for me there. Probably not, but hey, I'm doing the best I can here. But hey, like I said, with these plus 100 questions here towards the end, you could just join right now. Get the app right now for free. Answer these questions, and maybe some luck will happen where Randall Cobb takes a snap at quarterback, and you, my friend, are back in it. That easy. So you're never out of it. If you don't catch it at the beginning of the game, the questions are weighted so you can get yourself back into it to win these free prizes and everything. Better Cast app. Look at that. Defense. Yeah, because they're on defense. See, isn't that cool? It's crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. You know what else is crazy stuff? Yesterday in the NFL. And there's nobody else I would like to talk about it with than my boy, than my friend, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Not much. We doing okay. We finally got the Bijan jersey that finally came in the mail. So we smoking on that Panthers pack tonight, celebrating. And Bijan himself, I know he's smoking on the Alabama pack. So let's go, baby. I tell you, I was one of the only people I know that called it. Like, I know you said it, but I'll even show it right here on the screen. So there is digital proof and not like, oh, you're just saying that. Like, no, dude, I called that game. Alabama or Texas wins in Tuscaloosa. It happens. It did happen. I look like a G. And now I have 2 free meals from 2 different people thanks to that. So,
oh, nice. Get those free meal bets in, right?
It's exactly how we do this.
Pickle chips. Exactly how we work. Pickle chips.
No,
fried pickle chips.
Do not do that. Don't be that person. I believe the Jets just picked off Josh Allen again.
Yes, they did. 3 interceptions now for Josh Allen.
He's not having a good night.
All QB1s has had a rough week, even in wins, like Lamar Jackson, rough week.
You know what? The really sad thing is that if Aaron Rodgers is in this game, the Jets are killing the Bills. Like, they're winning by a lot. It's just Zach Wilson, man. And I believe that's Whitehead's 2nd interception too. Pretty sure, because I believe he caught the one in the end zone.
He did. That is 2. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that is the 2nd interception. So, hey, shout out to those who have the Jets defense. Oh wait, that's me. Let's go. Like we smoking all kinds of packs tonight, baby. Let's go.
We turned into the Heavy Tea smoking pack show.
Oh, dude, bro, we're gonna have the end of this season. We're gonna have the Heavy Tea Cigar Lounge be broadcasting from there.
Can I come to that? Is there whiskey? Like,
there will be whiskey. There will be invites sent out. We're gonna have someone sponsor this, but yeah, something like that's gonna happen.
Rival Fantasy is up there, man. Let's go.
All right, let's go. If there's any, you know what, Jack Daniels would like to sponsor us. If some cigar house, we'd appreciate it. We'll leave it at that. We'd appreciate it.
I don't know about Jack Daniels, like a little bit classier whiskey, but
okay. Well, There goes that sponsorship. That's gone.
Shit, I just blew that.
Yeah, that's gone. Sheesh. All right. Well,
Pappy Van Winkles, come on down.
please don't say anything about Jameson or was it Jimmy Walker? Like, just let them be. Let them do their thing.
I'll let him go. I'll let him go.
Oh,
all right.
man.
Well, let's talk about some of these games. So I'm not going to talk about some of the games that really don't matter, but a few, and we'll run through it quickly because I got to do Case of the Mondays, and you got to give your eulogy, which would be fantastic. Just for the sake of love, I guess, for you. We'll talk about the Carolina-Atlanta game. Carolina is as bad as I thought they were going to be, and maybe worse. Bryce Young, not impressive at all. And your team, very impressive. Slow start, but impressive. Bijan looked impressive. And what impressed me the most was this split. And I know people hate this in fantasy, but Tyler Algier ended the year pretty well last year and kind of took off where he, or came in where he let off or finished off last year. And I kind of like what I saw from him. I think that two-headed monster at running back with Bijan getting some receptions is key. And I know everyone hates Drake London right now and hates Kyle Pitts, but and probably Ritter, but that two-headed monster they have at running back is going to be a problem. What do you feel about your Falcons win yesterday?
Yeah, so that's why I'm going to say it wasn't all that impressive because their passing game looked awful. Like, Ritter looked terrible. There was a one point, I believe his stat line was 5 for 6, 1 yard and a touchdown, which is an incredible stat line. I took a screenshot of it because I couldn't believe it. But no, he didn't look all that great. The passing game wasn't there. Pitts is the leading receiver at 44 yards. That's not good. Okay, but they win this game because Carolina looks god awful.
Bad.
But it's hard to say that Jets driving up here down at the 30. It's hard to say that Bryce Young looked terrible when that offensive line might be the worst in the
bad.
league.
Yeah,
he has no receivers to throw to. He has Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard as his running backs, which I guess is like middle of the pack, but that team is just bad.
The leading receiver was Hayden Hurst with 5 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown.
I mean, that's the safety blanket receiver right there because that's the tight end.
By the way,
like,
pick him up in your fantasy. He is going to be a good tight end for you, especially with all these injuries, because he is going to be the blanket because they're going to need him to be the blanket because he's going to have no time to throw and he's going to be checking down a Hayden Hurst. He's going to be a thing in fantasy this year. I hate it, but I love it at the same time.
It's gross,
we have
but it is
we have a fantasy question in the chat. You want to help me answer
what
this?
What you got?
All right. Shazudo says here, let's by the way, the Josh Elpy wants to know what happened to Rodgers' ankle, but we'll watch the show, man.
We'll get to that.
I get Breece Hall, Laporta, I like Mike Evans, trade away Kelsey and Mooney in a dynasty.
Do it. Don't even think about it. Just
don't even think about it. Do it. That's a question.
Okay, Breece Hall, who actually just gets the ball right now and goes down for a yard, looks like he hasn't missed a step. He looks good. I think he's going to probably end up being the lead back. And I took a risk on him. Yeah. I took a risk on him in all my redraft leagues, and it looks like it's paying off immensely right away. Laporta looks really good on Thursday night. I believe he had 6 catches. They said it's the most catches that a rookie's tight end has had in a long time. So I think that's great. And then Mike Evans is consistently Mr. 1,000 yards a season. In a dynasty
and
league,
a good start with Maker, too. This weekend.
And like, let's be honest, a dynasty league, Kelsey's already in his mid-30s. He's only going to get older. So let's say he has maybe 2-3 good years left in the tank.
Yeah.
Laporta has his whole career. Breece Hall has his whole career.
I'll be real.
That's an easy trade.
I'll be real. You're trading Kelsey for Breece, Laporta, and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Take Mooney out of it. Mooney is trash. No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do it.
Trade 100% all day.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go, Shazudo. I would definitely take that like now. Like, don't let whoever that is think about it. He's probably a Jets fan and his mind is screwed up right now. Just take it right now. Take it.
Exactly. Zach Wilson running, and he's down at the 2. This is getting interesting. Interesting because they could tie it up. 5 minutes left.
I love it. We may have to go to Monday Night Rants overtime.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, there were some other games yesterday that looked interesting.
Well, let's talk about this the elephant in the room. How bad the Bengals looked. Joe Burrow, 14 of 31 for 82 yards, right? Like Chase, 5 for 39, 0 receptions for T. Higgins. You're not concerned at all? Even
I'm not concerned.
We talked about the Panthers' offensive line being bad. The Bengals doesn't look that
Breaking
good.
news. Zach Wilson has thrown a touchdown to Garrett Wilson, who makes a great catch. Makes a great catch right here.
Does that make Thomas Stevens still eligible to not get cut tonight?
Oh, no. I have to rewrite the eulogy.
We got to look.
Wow. I might have to double check that. That's going to be interesting. We'll go back to that in a minute. But yeah, Jets have the chance to tie it up right now. I'm not concerned about Cincinnati, honestly, at all. It's one bad game. It was pouring rain in Cleveland yesterday. They'll be fine.
By the way, Cincinnati has started slow the last 3 years, and look what they've done.
Yeah, Jamar Chase didn't help with the bulletin board material earlier in the week, but, it's fine. It is what it is. They'll be fine. Not concerned at all. Cleveland, though, like I said, people get ready to believe in Deshaun Watson again. It's happening. As much as none of us like it, it's happening. It's going to happen.
Now, his numbers weren't fantastic, obviously, the rain, and I don't think they're going to be what they once were in Houston, especially because he finally has a running game now. But I think he's going to be a great quarterback the rest of the year. A good quarterback. I'm going to say great. A good quarterback.
I'd say top 15 fantasy. 100%. I think that's fair.
I say top 10.
I think I did put him at number 10.
His legs. I mean, even yesterday, his legs, 5 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. There's 11 points on the board right there just from his legs.
Yeah. Rewatching this catch by Garrett Wilson real quick. That was nuts.
That's insane.
That's a great catch. I mean, that's an early catch of the year contender right there.
Jeez.
So, hey, look, maybe there's hope for the Jets yet. But yeah, like I said, Cincy will be fine. Watson's back. Gonna check real quick to see who they play next week because I honestly don't know. Cincy plays Baltimore. That'll be a very good game for them. If they struggle against Baltimore and they fall to 0-2, it's like, okay, now I think we have some questions. See how this is going to go. Cleveland, on the other hand, they are on Monday Night Football playing Pittsburgh, who did not look good at all. They looked horrendously awful.
We talked about it, though. It's kind of a situational thing here. I want to see how they do next week. Going up first game against that defense is not. It's a tough task for anybody in the NFL.
And that's the other thing I said too. I put it in our little private chat here off to the side. The 49ers looked like they were on that field to literally kill somebody.
Yeah.
That they were playing physical, fear me, punch you in the mouth football. It was great to see. Fred Warner is massively, I feel like he doesn't get anywhere near the credit he deserves. It's massively underrated. So they are just a really good team. There's a reason why I put them back in the Super Bowl is because they are that good. They're top to bottom. As long as they don't get hit by the injury bug, they're that good.
And Ayuk, top 5 receiver in the NFL, but it's all said and done.
I will wait on that. Yesterday, don't get me wrong, very good performance. But as we just said, Pittsburgh looked bad the entire way around. So
they just
couldn't
establish the run. If Pittsburgh can't establish the run, they're going to be in trouble. They need to establish that run. And that's what they did not do. And that's what got them into trouble, period. Like, that's what I'm going to look at. Okay, moving on, though. Let's talk about the Green Bay Chicago game because I know you want to. Jordan Love, do you believe now?
Do I believe in what? That he's done? That he's going to be not in the Bears' future plans after the season?
No, not Fields. Not Fields.
Jordan Love, my bad. I got so ahead of myself. I apologize. No, I still don't believe it. I mean, you're playing the Bears.
Come on, man.
The Bears
still,
are
without Christian Watson and that you got to admit the Packers look good. They look good in Chicago.
Okay, but they're playing Chicago.
Okay.
It's Chicago. Chicago's not good. Eberflus is going to be the first coach fired. They're not a good team at all. They're terrible.
You had Packers being bottom of the barrel in that division.
I said that was a hot take. Now, don't get me wrong. That still has a very good shot of happening.
My hot take was Packers win the division.
I don't know, but if you're Green Bay, and let's say halfway through the season, you don't think Jordan Love's the dude, do you just tank it? Because now
he looked good. He didn't make mistakes. 15 of 27, 245.
He played the Bears.
Still, it's just
I can go out there and not make mistakes against the Bears. Stop.
And Luke Musgrave, by the way, will be a thing. 3 for 50.
Oh yeah, no.
Reed had 48 yards receiving. Dobbs 26 and 2 touchdowns. Like, he's spreading the ball around already, which I like. A lot of rookies, you see rookie quarterbacks come into, he's not a rookie, but first time quarterbacks who like get their final chance, and they don't spread the ball around. They just throw it to the same 3 guys you see, and they lose the games. Like we saw Bryce Young, like we saw with, even Stroud to that angle. But he sprayed the ball around without Watson, AJ, with Dillon, with Jones. Like, I'm telling you, there's hope for there, man. There's hope for there.
I mean, Love will have a decent test. He does play Atlanta this upcoming weekend in Atlanta. And the reason I say this is a decent test, I know they faced Bryce Young, but that Atlanta, I believe the Bills just fumbled it and the Jets just recovered. So this is getting all kinds of spicy.
I see some fighting. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I see a skirmish that's going on in the background. But yeah, Jordan Love is playing Atlanta this weekend. And I know Atlanta just played Carolina. And I know it was Bryce Young. That defense looked a lot better than they did last year. That defense looks really good. Jesse Bates already proving that he's a tone setter. 2 interceptions already off Bryce Young. Yes, again, I know it's Bryce Young. But trust me, I've seen that team every single week last year. That defense was miserable. This one looks a lot better. Finally got some leadership in there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. But,
also, the Aaron Jones injury, if he does sit out, that's a huge.
That is huge. That is huge.
The offense, as I predicted and what I watched, revolves around Aaron Jones. Literally, LaFleur is making the offense revolve around him, which is smart because he's your best 2-way player, right? You can catch the ball, you can run the ball, but through the tackles, like, he's your best player. If he's hurt, that changes everything completely for that team because A.J. Dillon is a one-trick pony, right? So that's going to change everything. But I really liked what I saw from the Packers. I do think that they're going to be better than people thought. I know I hot take them to win the division, but hey, I'm excited about it. So there you go.
Also, real quick, I should point out that Bills turnover, a fumble by Josh Allen.
Oh,
he is having an absolutely
QB1s. Week 1 is going to be the story.
Absolutely nightmarish night. Responsible for all 4 turnovers. Absolutely disgusting.
QB1s. Look, okay, QB1s so far. Okay, who would be starters on your team no matter where you draft them, okay? Goff, okay. Mahomes, okay, but lost, right? Burrow, bleh. Cousins, bleh. We'll say, let's move down the list here. Obviously, we're skipping that game. Daniel Jones,
I'm not even going to get into that. That was abysmal by the Giants all the way around.
Geno Smith, Let's see. Hurts had not a great game either.
I mean, just looking at all the teams on the list, the only really solid QB1s yesterday
were Tua and Herbert going.
Tua and Herbert
against each other.
Yeah, and I guess you could argue Watson. You can argue Watson, and you could also make an argument. You can make an argument that towards the second half, later part of the game, Trevor Lawrence came around a little bit. I mean, he had a little bit of a rocky start there.
Yeah, Lawrence came around towards the end. That interception wasn't even his fault either. That was a great pass that was tipped. You thought it was Kadarius Toney out there catching the ball.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna ask a question that I think needs answering as Breece Hall dances around for a first down. He's so good. He is so good. Anyway, so the question that needs answering: is Sam Howell a thing? Is that a thing? Is he a thing? He played the Cardinals though. Like, he played the worst team in the league. But I don't know, man. He actually looked somewhat competent.
I mean, 202 yards, a touchdown, interception. He looked confident last. But by the way, he's 2-0 as a starter. But he looked confident last year in Week 18. And some of the throws he makes, he has the intangibles to be a good NFL starter. It's just a matter if he has the confidence, right, to make those throws.
Yeah.
He made some terrible decisions, but he made a lot of good ones as well. And obviously, it's not good when McLaurin is 2 for 31, Dawson's 5 for 40, and Curtis Samuel is your leading receiver. That's not good. But more and more, what I liked from this game, as we're going to this game real quick, is the Cardinals could have won. I'm glad they didn't, because I'm like, man, I thought you were tanking. But was Brian Robinson Jr. is the lead back and number 1 and the workhorse for this Washington team. That's what I got out of this. 19
Many men wish
carries.
death upon him, man.
Gibson, 3 carries. That is it. Gibson, 1 reception. Brian Robinson, 1 reception for a touchdown. Brian Robinson is going to be the workhorse for the Commanders. Period.
Like to see it. Do the
hopefully-
Jets have a first down right here? Short by about an inch.
All right, so obviously, I haven't been talking about the Chargers game. It was a great game, probably the game of the weekend.
Beautiful game. Tyreek Hill is him. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Do you think he gets
So
2,000 yards this year?
I don't know, but I did love the fact, like, obviously this isn't going to happen, but I did love the fact that Barstool put out a graphic and said Tyreek Hill's on pace for over 3,000 yards and like 50 touchdowns. And I jokingly said, I was like, if that happens, he would be the first receiver ever to win MVP, without a doubt. And yet somehow, if that does happen, they'll still find a way to give the award to Tua and not Tyreek Hill, which would make it even better. It's just like that would solidify the fact that this is a quarterback's award and nothing else. It's so funny. But yeah, no, the Dolphins actually look good. I believe
Look really good.
I believe they played the Patriots, who, real quick, I'll make this the last one because I know we got some other stuff to get to.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is not the dude.
No.
He sucks.
Yeah,
he is awful. Like, no, they gotta. You know what? I'm gonna throw something out there.
What?
What if the Patriots somehow? I won't say they tank. What if they somehow weasel their way
To get Caleb Williams?
to get Shador Sanders?
Oh, who wants that?
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. In the day and age where it's all about a mobile QB, it's not a bad idea.
All right. Well, you
think about it. Think about it. Not saying it's going to happen.
Does Sanders come out this year or does he go one more year?
I don't know, man. He looks good enough. You know what? I think the next 3 weeks will really tell us if
when he starts playing the Pac-12 teams, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, when he starts playing Oregon, like you said, in Eugene, USC, they still have to play Utah at some point this year. Oregon State is ranked. They have to play
Washington.
UCLA is no slouch. Like they have a gauntlet to run. And if they somehow make it through all that, you're looking at a top 4 playoff team in the country easily. But we'll see, man. That defense still needs some work.
If they win out, they're by far number 2 in the nation.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's assuming Georgia wins out too.
Point being, get rid of Mac Jones. He sucks.
He's terrible.
Like, he's not good. Not a good
I don't know why they released Bailey Zappi, but that's another day. You want to do some Case of the Monday so I can yell at people for 5 minutes before you give your eulogy?
Yes, and I believe Bailey Zappi, real quick, I believe he's on the practice squad. I don't think they.
Oh, is he?
Got, right?
Okay, so
yeah.
he needs time for the practice squad. Okay, so we talked about some of the games we love. We're gonna do what's coming back. Everyone's favorite. Ready for it?
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
All right, here we go. We talked about it already. I'm gonna run through it real quick. The Bengals. Oh my goodness, the Bengals looked absolutely miserable. Looked terrible. Offensive line looked terrible. Joe Burrow looked terrible. T. Higgins, who knows where he is? I didn't know where he was. Did you see him? I didn't see him. Was he even at the game? No one knows. Terrible, terrible. Such expectations. Waits till the last minute to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and he just pops a poop right in the middle of the Browns. No pun intended. The Bengals had such a miserable performance in the rain, letting Deshaun Watson and the Browns do their thing. Hey, that rhymed. I'm Dr. Seuss. The Bengals and Joe Burrow.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Sad. Just sad. High expectations. Making the playoffs last year. Everything. 9/11 coming. Sunday Night Football. Cowboys. Daniel Jones. Everything's in your favor. And what do you do? 40 to nothing. Embarrassment. They kept Daniel Jones out there longer than he needed to be just to get embarrassed again. Every Giants fan, every Giants player, Daniel Jones, Dayball, all of you.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
It's the best. One more until we get the eulogy. Here we go. 1 year after going 13-4 atop the NFC North, Kevin O'Connell, woo, top of the world, baby. But boy, did they overlook the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. At home. Baker Mayfield. Do or die mentality. You can say what it is. Mike Evans, yeah. Minnesota's roster, all the offense, all the stats from Justin Jefferson, Addison with his first touchdown. The running game is a problem. The running game from Minnesota is an absolute problem. Madison is not that man. Nobody on the team is that man. It's going to be a problem. The defense, a bigger problem. We're talking about the worst defense in the NFL. By the way, one-score games last year, undefeated for Minnesota. Why they had such a good record of 13-4. This year, 0-1, week 1. Kirk Cousins, you had my heart at quarterback on Netflix. I changed my mind about you. But Kirk Cousins, you like that? Because you have.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Monday.
We did it, Heavy T. We're back, baby. Case of the Mondays. Was it good? Was it good?
That was good. I will say real quick, hold on one second.
Okay.
I did have a text that I sent to my buddies about the Giant game last night. Let me pull it up real fast. Love going back to the text. It said, brutal if you're a Giants fan at the stadium. Your team sucks. It's pouring rain. 9/11 is tomorrow. Your city is rat infested. Rent is triple the cost of a normal apartment. Absolutely awful all the way around. Absolutely brutal performance last night. You're telling me your full team was healthy and you couldn't win, but the Jets, who lose Aaron Rodgers on like the third play of the game, have a chance to beat the Bills? Come on now. Come on. Also, the Bills going for a game-leading field goal attempt right here. Jets. Sorry.
With 151 and Josh Allen had a miserable game to come back.
It is good. Jets take the lead. This is a Monday Night Miracle, baby.
Do your eulogy, and we'll watch the rest of the game in our own separate ways for everyone so they can all go around. Let's go.
I unfortunately have no music, but we are going to do it either way.
Okay. Do you have eulogy music?
I unfortunately do not, because I don't know how to play it and talk at the same time.
Oh.
So we will have to figure that out.
I could put it on my board for you, and I could press it, and we could talk.
Next week. We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
We are gathered here today to say goodbye and lay to rest the team known as Better Thomas. Let us never forget the highs they had this season of Rashee Rice scoring on the first game of the season to literally nothing else, because that was the lone highlight. We say goodbye to the lows as well of Aaron Rodgers blowing up his foot in the first game of Monday Night Football. We mourn the losses of the absolute studs of Team Better Thomas. Players such as Jackson, I have 3 names, Smith and Jigba. Ezekiel Fumble It. And Brandon, I'm Still Here Cooks. And a Las Vegas Raider. May we all be like Better Thomas bench player Taysom Hill and learn to adapt to different situations in this here Guillotine League. Thoughts and prayers to CJ Stroud, who never got the chance to take a single snap. May Better Thomas rest in peace among this tragic defeat. Amen.
Amen. And the words of our Father. Thomas Stevens, the first one out of the Gates League. That was a beautiful eulogy, man. I'm sure Thomas Stevens respects that. We'll have to cut that out so we can send that out to each week just on Twitter for fun. That was fantastic.
Put it in the chat of each individual person who lost each week. Yeah. Can't wait until my time comes and it's my time to do my own eulogy.
Or I could do yours.
This is me speaking from the grave. Something like that. We'll figure it out, but that's pretty good. You know, real quick before we go, there was one thing I got to do when I was doing radio in Houston, and I did write out eulogies for the end of seasons. I actually love doing that. It's really fun.
Dude, you absolutely, and I mean, I'm air horn.
You know what the best part is? I came up with that in 5 minutes.
Dude, wow.
So,
I think you have a new career there, Heavy T.
Yeah, I think
a eulogy ghostwriter. Is that
I got
a thing?
the Undertaker tattoo. We might go into the funeral service business. We'll see what happens.
Okay, well, that's dark, but all right.
Anyways, get us out of here, man.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the final minute and 48 seconds as Josh Allen tries to come back and tie it or win it against the Jets. Incredible night on Monday Night Rants. Aaron Rodgers' injury. We talked about NCAA football. We're going to watch the end of this game, of course. We'll be back next week with 2 Monday night games. 2 Monday night games. It's going to be incredible. Also, BetterCast. Make sure you get in the app. Play Better Cast as well. It's going to be back every Monday night. We'll be doing it at the same time and even streaming live on the app as it's going on, the questions as well. So you can watch me while you're answering the questions on the app as well. It's going to be incredible. So shout out to that as well. From myself, from Heavy T, Tyler Soto, and a brilliant eulogy. And sorry, Ed Thomas Stevens, but you have been eliminated. You have been axed from the Guillotine League. Good luck to everyone next week. Get your waiver wires in to see who you can get. Again, myself, Heavy T, Thomas Stevens, everyone here at Better Sports Network, at Better Network. Enjoy the last minute of the game, and shout out to my boy, Tosh McGowan. Boom.